To begin. What's going on, beautiful people of the Bay? It is your man, Carlos Rojas here, your real estate agent, and Frank the Bank, Frank Cotto, president of Lincoln Lending, with episode 11 of We, the People Real Estate Podcast. Guys, hope you had an amazing week. We missed you last week. We actually did an episode, but it didn't air, slow.
Hey, it was on Facebook.
There. But you know what? It was on Facebook.
Yeah,
and you know what? We do appreciate the person that we had here because we did have a guest. And we learned from it, and we're going to do better next time.
Yes, we did.
And just so you guys know, her name is Aggie Hall, and she is a heck of a roofer person, and we are going to have her on the show coming soon, as well as other guests that are going to be invited on the show after the 26th continuously, as we got great plans here for We the People Real Estate Podcast. Frank, how you doing, my man? How was your week?
I'm doing good. My last week was good. It was very busy. It was one of those, never sit down weeks. This week is going great. Wait, is it Thursday?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I got one day left. I'm a banker. But,
That's right.
Last week, I got to do some traveling last week.
Yeah? Where'd you go?
So last week, I got invited to go up to Michigan to Pontiac.
Pontiac, that's a place? I thought it was a car.
It's the crappy side of Detroit, basically. Ooh. But so anyway, I got
let me just
go.
The Pontiacs were made in Detroit?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Just making sure.
I think they actually named Pontiac after Pontiac.
Okay. That
really
makes
did.
sense.
Do they make Pontiacs anymore?
That's
I don't think they do.
No, I think they destroyed them forever.
Yeah,
and they were coming after Chryslers, and somehow they survived.
I don't know. But anyway, there it is. Pontiac. Okay, it says it right here. See, I love this. What happened?
Yeah, we got a
defunct in
producer
2010.
Look at that.
So there you go. Screw you, Pontiac. Anyway, so I got to go. I got invited
Pontiac.
to go by the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Matt Ishbia, who's also the owner of United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM.
Okay.
They did a president's council up at United Wholesale last week. So I got to sit in a room with every single executive from United Wholesale Mortgage, including Matt, sitting right across from me. By the way, the guy's a billionaire.
Wow.
Okay. How often do you get invited to go sit for hours with a billionaire? So
How many of those are there in the world? Isn't it like 1,000 or something?
That's a great question. I have a feeling our producer's going to figure this out now for us.
We got a producer now, and he is on it. he's searching the information right now. We got 2,781 billionaires in the world. So you got to sit with one of these people.
One of 2,700.
Out of 6 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
Yeah. It was special.
So how was it?
It was amazing. So the whole purpose was for all of us different business owners, mortgage company business owners, to get together and to share best practices and ideas for what's going on in our world, our space. And the best part was, he sat in the room with us, and he's sitting there with every executive of all the different divisions of his company. And like if I said something about non-QM lending, he looks over at this lady and he goes, "All right, you're in charge of non-QM. Listen to what he's saying. I want to implement this. I want to do this, blah, 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 blah." So
it was like that.
It was real deal shit. Like
wow.
it was phenomenal. So one of the biggest things that came up was credit. All right, and it's funny because we were saying it on break. Was break? We're gonna call it break. Was the cost of credit?
Right. What is that?
So what I mean specifically is the cost of a credit report to the consumer.
Okay.
So these credit agencies, and sadly, there's only 3: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Right?
Okay.
They have a monopoly. They're the only 3 credit reporting agencies that the banks accept when they're deciding if they're going to give somebody a loan or not.
Right.
Okay. So out of nowhere, we don't know why exactly, but they decided to start raising their fees.
Okay.
And the typical credit report to the consumer on a mortgage used to cost about $36 for a tri-merge credit report for you and your husband or wife. Right. A couple years ago, it got up to, it got up to maybe like $65 or something like that.
Okay.
It has now gone up to where we're having to charge like at least $125 for a tri-merge credit bureau. And if you're an unmarried borrower, like say you and your wife are unmarried, it has gone up to $250. So they keep pushing this cost up, and we're trying to figure out what to do because it's not fair. We don't want to charge the consumers all of this money. But
so this is a cost that you charge to the buyers at closing costs, for example?
Yes, it's a closing cost. So it's getting higher. So the other thing that they're doing now, Carlos, is they're selling. Have you heard of the term trigger leads?
No.
Right. So they're selling. What happens is whenever you do a mortgage request and somebody pulls your credit. What the heck is going on? Finish the live stream, start again. Okay, I'll fix that. Sorry. They do a mortgage request. the credit bureaus sell your information to everybody. And it's like you've already opted in and you can't stop it. So
Is that legal?
it sure is right now, because as at some point you signed something when you requested credit from somebody saying it's okay for them to sell your data. Well, you don't have a choice. It's only Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Who owns these companies? Is it?
They're privately owned companies, right? And I don't know. Actually, here we go. We're about to find out who owns them. I love this. It's probably Soros, right? But somehow they have a monopoly on this, and so they're screwing everybody by increasing these prices. But this trigger lead thing is the scary thing. What happens? Here we go. It says right there. It's a publicly traded company. So this trigger lead crap is every time you get your credit ran, they got 500 people calling you for a week asking you, hey, you want to apply for a mortgage? Hey, you want to do this? So it's really bothering people. It's really pissing them off. So finally, there's going to be legislation, we found out, going all the way up to the Senate to hopefully stop them from doing it. But here's the thing. They're a public company. They're selling their data. So even though I run your credit today and I don't put your phone number in, I don't put your email in, I don't give them any data on you, they still have your data because your credit has been ran countless times throughout your life. Yeah. They just sell it. You know, the whole world is revolving on data right now. Data is what is creating billionaires and trillionaires. Right. It's the keeping selling of data. Right. And these guys have more than anybody. Yep. So I say this out loud to everybody. There's not a lot you can do, but if you ever see any things come to sign this petition or do this to protect consumers from the trigger leads or for the monopoly of the credit companies, sign it. Okay. Because we need to fight against them. Okay. But great time. Met with a bunch of company owners. I will tell you that Matt, the billionaire who owns a company, said he agrees with what you and I say on this podcast every single week. When these rates drop by 1%, he said it to our face, get ready. It's going to be a buying frenzy and a refinance frenzy like we have never seen. So for everybody who thinks that the prices are going to drop, the billionaire owner of UWM looked us in the eyes and said that will not happen. He said, staff your company, staff yourself, and be ready for the influx. And for all you buyers out there, now is your time. Yeah. Right now.
I would agree. Now, since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and go right into it. Rates.
Ooh. They
spiked up. So, we got Biden talking about the rates are coming down, and it seems like he's going in the opposite direction, or, the feds are going in the opposite direction. I don't know if it's Biden's choice directly. I know we've talked about it.
We'll blame him.
Yeah, let's just blame him, for one more thing, right? Might as well.
We can blame him.
So what's going on here? Do you know anything about the Fed's meeting recently?
Yeah.
Or
So last week I believe we were at 7.4 or 7.5,
right,
something
7.5,
like that, 7.5. So it's now saying 7.813. This actually happened in the last 24 hours. Yesterday was the worst day for rates that we have seen in the last 4 months. And what I mean by that is they went up more than any day in a long time. And it's because of the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. Basically, it came out, and you and I don't want to hear this, but it came out and it said that inflation is not going down. It's actually going up still, which blew my mind because you would think this sitting dumbass president would be doing things to get it down, and then he'd be dropping rates, which would make him look better, which is what he said was going to happen last month when he spoke, right? I don't think they're going to drop them this month, Carlos. I don't, and I don't think they're going to get much worse, right? But they did go up over a quarter point just yesterday. Now, good news is here's the silver lining. Like we always say every week, we are still locking about a point lower than that at Lincoln Lending Group. So you're still in the high sixes or high fives for government and high sixes for conventional. So don't be scared off by this. But to Carlos's point, they did go up 0.3% in 24 hours.
I also think that, I've seen the last 2-3 months, it fluctuated a little bit up and down.
Yeah, big time.
So, if you're going to be looking for the house in the next 3 to 4, 5, 6 months, right? Let's start now.
Start
catch
now.
It. Remember, you lock the rate after you find the house, right?
Right.
So if you,
let me say something else about locking, because somebody asked me this literally an hour ago. They said, "Well, what if I lock my rate and the rates go down?" Because that's another thing everybody's concerned about, right? Yeah. You can switch lenders, right, or you can do what's called a float down,
right.
So what you got to I tell my consumers and my clients is, don't float your rate ever. If you're working for a company who can move you to another lender, whether it's my company or another one, lock somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're protecting today. Because listen, Carlos and I, we know a lot, but we don't have a crystal ball.
That's right. So, So I wanted to tell you, I had a friend, a childhood friend that I met when I was 4 years old. I left him when I was 10. He went to Spain, and every time I went back to Cuba, we couldn't catch each other or anything. I haven't seen him in 24 years. So I interviewed him on my other podcast over here.
Like a remote interview?
No. Like he came to Tampa.
What?
Yeah, he flew over from Spain to Miami. He's been in Miami for a year. He's a chef, really good chef, really talented guy. And he started talking to me about politics.
Okay.
And I was just, blown away by the knowledge he had from an outside country of the United States.
Really?
About how the United States works.
Isn't Spain somewhat communist?
Right?
Or
No.
socialist?
Spain has been democratic for a long time, but right now they have a Joe Biden.
Oh, okay. So that's what it is.
They've been running very leftist. Same as Argentina. Argentina was very leftist until Milei won.
Okay.
So Bukele, here's the thing. He told me, and this is very true. When Trump won, everything changed.
Right.
Bukele, the president of El Salvador, came because of the Trump era, because of the type of president that Trump is or was. Milei, the president of Argentina right now, which is the right type of president a nation should have, at least so far, because we don't know where these people go after, they've been leaders for a while, power gets to their head. But so far, he's another follower of Trump, and it looks like Latin America is heading into the right direction. And Spain was in the right direction, and in the past, I think 8 years or 4 years, it's been heading down really fast, which is one of the reasons why he came to this country. He got the notice that eventually the United States, within a year of now, the United States was not going to be accepting any more people from Spain coming over to stay here.
You telling me you can just go to Mexico and walk across the border?
Right. Right. So basically, it seems like things are going to be closing down, which is it's kind of like what happens in this country. You get a lot of protection over the border, and then you let it all open, and then another lot of protection depending on who's in charge, right?
Yeah.
So
great point.
He came over with that mindset. He always wanted to come to the United States. He has friends that said, it's good, it's bad, whatever, and
what was his perspective?
He wanted to get his own perspective.
Okay.
Which is why he came. And he absolutely loves it. He said he sees money everywhere. In Spain, it's hard to look at money right now. It's kind of like when you go to Cuba. How do I make money? Like there's no money anywhere. But he said in here, there's money everywhere. He's like, Carlos, I'm doing this show and I already see money on this show. It's just everywhere. Everything is about what you say, the way you represent yourself. And everybody in here, I got a food truck business, and the amount of people that I had buying was instant. It was amazing. This is a great nation. There's money here. You just got to hustle for it, which is what we've been talking about, right? But what impressed me the most was that for somebody that's an outsider, the way he spoke about Trump and what he did to countries like Spain and countries outside, he basically said, look, the United States is number one in the world.
Okay.
It's just the way it is. And for you people that live in this country and don't know it, because I know a lot of people do know it. I know a lot of fellow Americans that know and understand this, but some people don't. The United States is the country of the world, is the leader in freedom.
Yes.
And if we don't have freedom in this country, probably everywhere else is going to be starting to get shut down.
So he was saying like what we do actually bleeds over to the rest of the world.
Everywhere.
That is really interesting.
And he made it as simple as how many wars were there when Trump was in charge compared to how many wars are now?
Oh.
How many wars did Obama get? I mean, this is all him talking. I didn't tell him nothing because this is how we feel, right?
Right.
But this is just him spilling everything. And I was like, dude, it's impressive that, you're not from here and you're talking this way. So I thought it was pretty cool.
I think that's super impressive. I love the fact that he said it spills over into the rest of the world. So, and the war thing, that's what a great point.
Yeah.
But so he's been living over there and he figured it out.
Yeah.
Can we figure it out here?
Yeah, I think we got that. I think this year we got it. I would hope that we understand. I mean, I come from a communist country, guys. Listen, don't vote left. That's all I'm saying. It's not the right decision. So let's go ahead and get into our subjects here, guys. So we're gonna be talking about some inspections. What to expect when you're going over an inspection in a house. But basically, I don't have an inspector here with me, which one day I will soon. But I do want to go over some engineering reports that I came across that were very troubling to me because I've seen it before. And some, red flags of what to look for when it comes to the house that you're looking at. We're going to go over some crazy neighbors. And lastly, we're going to touch up on squatters. We did talk about squatters on an episode here a couple of weeks ago.
Big topic.
And Ron DeSantis came out swinging right away and took care of the squatter situation. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So let's go into the engineer's report. It's going to be on the webpage. So basically, guys, these are things to look for when it comes to engineer reports. So when you buy a house, right, you get under contract. Frank here gets you approved. I get you under contract with a house, and all of a sudden we're going to do the first inspection. So I've been to houses that have certain, tree situation. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And then, we got the type of houses that have the, what is this called? I forgot, Frank. The
crawl space.
The crawl space, right? So I've been into situations, hold that picture for a second. I've been into situations where for some reason, my buyer does not have enough funds. And what I mean by enough funds, I'm talking about $200 to get the crawl space checked out. This is why you need to check out the crawl space. When you're walking on top of this house, you may not notice that this house is about to fall apart. And all it takes is maybe a little bit of water damage.
Literally.
Or I don't know, it looks like a domino effect. You lose the bottom floor, you're going to lose the rest of the house. This stuff is important. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Besides that, we got situations like this one. So, I mean, if you see this is not a bad tile installation. This typically is something that happened underneath. I wouldn't think that somebody would just install tiles like that. And
something
tiles
separating.
don't just separate. So obviously your concrete might be expanding, or something may be happening that is not normal.
Either
this
you got
could
a sinkhole or you have a crawl space.
Yeah, or it could be a root problem. I know in Florida we got a lot of trees, oak trees that get closer to the house. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Don't just take it as, the floor is broken. No, we got to lift those things and check underneath to make sure.
Yep.
Keep going. Here we have this one. I think the main problem is that bottom piece. But when I see weird stuff like this, I call the structural engineer. So, like I said, you got a regular inspector. The inspector will look at things like this, and say, "Hey, this is not right." So now you need the structural engineer. So get somebody out here that can tell us whether this is okay or not, because it can't be on the inspector whether your house is going to fall down or not. Go ahead and scroll down, Mo.
Well, an inspector's job isn't to know everything, because he's looking at all these different things.
Yeah,
his
and
job
he
is to
can't look
pick
between
something
the
out.
walls either, right?
Right.
In here, we got a situation. This looks like a sinkhole to me. This is exactly what happens when your house just cracks in half, and you just start losing everything. When this happens, get the heck out. Just fly out.
Look at that.
Run out. Do whatever you got to do, but get out, because this is not safe. This house should not be shown. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's been situations somewhere around Spring Hill where there's still active sinkholes in certain places. Right. I mean, there's a guy that disappeared in a sinkhole.
Yeah,
I forgot his name, but we'll bring him up one of these days. Keep scrolling down,
take him out.
All right, that's that same house right there. I'm very sure of it. That's basically what it would look like on the inside.
Carlos, I would have saved my money on the home inspection on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously we wouldn't even look at this house, right? But this is just regular knowledge for you guys. Keep scrolling down. This right here, you might just take a look at it and everything looks nice, but it's basically rotten wood. The wood is rotten. There's one important one that's coming up next, Bo. Keep going. Nope, keep going. Yeah, stay away from that one too, right? This one right here, and the next one, Bo. Keep going.
Oh.
One more. I think it's one more. Okay. No, this one I don't understand. This one's for the professionals. Go up. This one right here. Okay, this one is, look, you can hit that and it's going to be strong, but in the middle, it's rottening. What happens in situations like this, what I've been explained before by the inspectors, is when you have a hole in the middle of the wood like that, water sits on it. And as water sits, it will eat up the wood slowly, and eventually you're gonna have a hollow space in the wood that will that can potentially be very dangerous for your home. So just an idea, guys. I came across this and I thought, hey, how else can a realtor be helpful to you, right? How about somebody that has knowledge of some of these things? And if you don't have the knowledge or the experience, if you're a brand new agent, just make sure you hire the right inspectors, or that that your buyer is hiring the right people, because there are agents out there that just want to get the deal closed, get paid, and that's it, and our job should be more towards building relationships that last a long time, that we could keep on building on those relationships. And I guarantee you, if you sell a house like this to one of your clients, you're probably not going to hear from them ever again.
No.
You might get sued. You know,
You're
just
exactly
saying.
right. Nope. That's why the purpose of the home inspection.
Yeah, absolutely. So just some good info there, guys. Next in crazy neighbors. I just want to show you guys this
Crazy neighbors.
video
This
right
is the
here.
topic
Go ahead,
right
Bo.
now.
Put it
can
on.
use your brain and use it. See that? See?
Yeah.
See, okay?
Use your
Yeah.
brain.
Look at that's your side, this is my side. Look at got this, okay?
That's the line right there.
Goes all the way across, okay?
Yeah,
all
okay.
the way across. Got it?
Yeah.
See this little fence?
Yeah.
See this little fence?
Don't cross
That
the fence.
about right over here. You see that?
Oh.
shoot.
Oh, the fence broke.
See what you made me do?
Well,
You owe
he
me a
made her do
fence.
that.
well, how much?
Owe me a fence. You got it?
How much was it?
It doesn't matter. Just get me another one, okay? Look at this is my half. This is your half, okay?
Okay.
So come over, I will tell you something else.
Get closer.
Come closer.
Smell her breath.
Oh God!
What?
Don't go
Why
closer.
is it that every time I'm in the shower, you flush your toilet? Why is that?
Whenever I'm in the shower, or whenever you're in the
Why is
shower.
it when I'm in the shower, you flush the toilet? You know what that causes?
Well, I have to go to the bathroom too.
Every time I'm in the shower?
Yeah.
All right, that's
Oh
enough, that's
my
enough.
Lord!
So there's your Karen of the
Crazy
day right
day.
there. I mean, she definitely earned it. I'll tell you what. Look, I've experienced bad. Have you ever had bad neighbors?
I've had some bad neighbors,
Dude,
before.
I had one voodoo lady that did some weird stuff in her garage. Her house was bigger than mine. She had 2 Mercedes-Benz. She was a traveling nurse. And this lady would come out in between my house and hers just to throw like a little bit of water on my side and accuse me of Satanism and
Oh, she's
bad
throwing like
things.
holy water on your side.
Dude, you know, at one point it was funny because I didn't have kids and, you know,
Yeah.
but then I lived in the house for about 7 years. And after my kids were born, I literally had to tell her, you need to F off. Like, this is
Yeah.
enough. You're waking me up in the middle of the morning. Like I went to sleep late last night. My kids couldn't let me sleep. And you're waking me up with this because she would like scream out. Now the whole neighborhood got to meet her. Everybody knew there was something wrong with her.
Yeah.
She would call the police, and the police would just come to us and be like, "What's going on now?" Because they already had a report on her. Everybody knew. But the point is that it can be devastating to
Yeah.
live with a bad neighbor, right?
Yeah.
It's just annoying. You definitely want to make sure that you stay on your side of the fence. You want to make sure that you protect yourself. You want to make
You
sure
want to
that
make sure you have a fence.
yeah, install a fence, but most importantly, like don't lose control. This guy had it all under control. He stayed on his side. He even let go of the dog a little bit, but
Yeah.
make sure that it ain't cross.
No, don't cross that fence.
You know, I did that a few times to her. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go." No, I'm not.
Oh.
Just because I just want to have fun at this point.
So I had most of my neighbors are awesome, and if you guys are listening right now, you know I love you. But we had a situation like 13 years ago when I went to put a fence in. There was no fence, and a lot of our neighbors have like an acre, and I went to put in one of those white PVC fences.
Yeah.
You know, I had young kids, right, and I don't want the young kids running through the neighborhood. And they had a chain link fence, and she comes outside. She's like, "What are you doing? Why are you putting that up? Why don't you just put up a chain link fence?" And I looked at her and I go, "Because they're ugly." Just like that. She did not appreciate me, but now we're good friends. Like, so Adrian, love you guys. We're good
That's
friends.
good.
It was hilarious. And
You know where you messed up?
where?
Did you ask her if?
to share the fence?
Yeah,
I don't know if I did or not.
I do that, dude. I
but that
save
is the
money
right
with that.
neighborly thing to do.
right.
It's good, dude.
Because
Trust
you
me.
talk about that prior to that way they know it's coming.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, they knew. They knew. it was
I in
coming.
this house that I installed my fence here,
Yeah.
and both my neighbors helped me pay it with half of the fence,
Yeah.
so that saves you money. And
That's very
You know,
fair.
and I gave them a discount too. I didn't charge them the full amount, so
There
you
you
know
go.
it helps you out a little
Be a
bit.
good neighbor,
Be a
guys.
good neighbor.
There's a quota today. Be
Yeah.
a good neighbor.
Yeah, not State Farm, but you know. All right. Last thing, guys, we're gonna go over squatters here. So just so you guys know,
Squatters.
before you put it, Bo. So we spoke on this episode 10. We spoke about the squatters. I know that episode, you know, we felt with the audio. I do apologize to people with that. But basically, there was a squatter situation going on in New York that we spoke about. And what ended up happening is that what started it all is I have history with squatters. I have about 3 different cases that I have with squatters that are insane. And I've heard of people having, you know, if you just look for squatter stories on YouTube, you will be watching videos for a long time and you'll be having a lot of fun doing it because it's fun, it's entertaining, it's crazy that this is even happening in our country. So the thing is that we posted a video on this show of a Venezuelan illegal immigrant talking about how his African American co-people or co-helpers or whatever have taught him that you can squat, you can invade a home and live in it and earn rights to the home or something like that. Is what he was saying on the message. And he was basically yelling out to all illegal immigrants, like, let's do this. We're going to get this done. You know, I would put the video, but we
he got arrested, right?
Look at on the last one. Yeah. So right after we put it on the show, which, you know, it was everywhere. It wasn't just here. He gets arrested. And right after that, because he lived in Florida, Ron DeSantis comes up and just attacks, changes the laws.
Yep.
Now you can call, if you have a squatter in your house and you don't know this, now you can call the authorities, and unless they have a contract, they should be able to kick them out right away.
Yep.
And they need to provide a contract right away, which is a lot better than the situation that I was in, because when I had my squatter, she didn't have a contract, and she told me that she had it, but she had it somewhere else. So we gave her up to 24 hours to make one up.
Oh my God.
And the cops couldn't do anything about it because, by her word, she had one. But she didn't really have one. She just knew the law, and she knew how to manipulate it to win. So the point is, guys, that now you can kick your squatters out. Now you can call the authorities. Now you can take ownership of your home how you should in the state of Florida. And I'm glad that DeSantis did this, because now it's probably going to bleed into other states, I would hope, you know, because we need that.
It will. So I this was a big topic on my radio show this week about squatters, and I asked, we had a concealed weapon permit guy, like a trainer on the show. I asked him a question. He didn't know the answer, so we're actually going to have an attorney on next week. So maybe I can get him to come on our show.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
As well. Lee Perlman, criminal defense attorney. Here's the question. I know you can call the cops, but if I go to my house, let's say it's my second home, right? Not just like a rental or something. I go to my house and I walk in the door and there's a squatter in there, and we have the castle doctor in here in Florida that if somebody's on your property, you can shoot them, right? Why can I not draw a gun on that person and tell him to get the F out of my house? Why can I not? I mean, I don't want to shoot somebody, but why, if it's my home, why is that not a burglar in my house?
It is
I think it is in Florida.
Yeah,
and I think that's what he's going to tell us on the show, that they're considered burglars.
Yeah.
But you know how we take care of burglars here in Florida.
That's right.
You know, so
That's right.
I don't know. Squatters are huge.
Fuck around and find out.
That's
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this video, Bo, please.
Jacksonville homeowner Patty Peoples was in the process of selling this rental property in Hogan's Creek when she got an alarming call from a handyman last March.
Some pit bull puppies and the mother on the front porch.
The home that was supposed to be vacant had multiple people inside. When Patty asked them to leave, they refused.
Bo, can you
called the police.
Rewind that a little bit,
but when they
please?
Multiple people
Look
inside.
at that. Look at this guy just dancing. Like, just,
Patty asked them to
that's
leave,
the other
they
part.
refused.
Pause it for a second, Bo. That's the other part about these people. A lot of these people,
Arrogance.
They laugh at you when you're doing this, which is crazy. Go ahead and play, Bo. Go ahead.
Called the police. But when they arrived, the illegal tenants produced a fake lease agreement, which led police to deem the issue a civil matter.
They said, unfortunately, we have absolutely no jurisdiction.
Patty spent weeks trying to make the squatters leave.
I'm not touching you, Mom. You are touching me.
And was even threatened by them on multiple occasions. $5,000 in attorney's fees later, and she finally got them out. But they left the house destroyed and covered in feces.
I was left to clean up $40,000 worth of damage done to the home.
News of Patty's nightmare made it all the way to the state capitol, where State Senator Keith Perry agreed something needed to be done.
I'm so glad that we have the governor that we do, and you know, he gets so much criticism, you know, and I think he did a poor job running for president. I do feel like he shouldn't even have tried, because Trump is, you know, he's too big. I feel like he should have just been on his side. But regardless, you know, we got an amazing governor. I'm glad that he's back. And I hope that we don't lose the beautiful things that we have in this state of Florida. I mean, I do feel like we do need to work on insurance costs and maybe a little bit on taxes and stuff like that.
Agreed.
But overall, I mean, I love my state, and I'm glad that DeSantis is on top of things like that. And fast too, dude. Like, you know, it was about time. That law should have been changed a long time ago, but it just took an illegal immigrant to threaten us. And he's like, nope, not in Florida. And I love that. I respect that so much.
He moves quickly when he takes legislation, which is what I love. But I still don't understand. Maybe I'll learn from the attorney next week when we'll get him on the show. Why did we need a new law?
Yeah.
That's the part I don't understand.
Yeah.
At what point are you allowed to go walk into somebody's house? Like, hey, when you get home tonight, I'm going to be sitting in your living room. So, and I'm going to have a lease.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Well, everybody, this is going to conclude our show. Hey, I want to welcome Bo into the show, our producer. He is not on camera right now. Bo, you want to say hi real quick?
There's Bo.
Hello, everybody.
That's
Hey,
that
how you
beautiful
doing?
voice right there. Hey, great job, and thank you for being here with us. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. We hit the 50 subscriber mark, and I'm proud of
Yes,
that. Hey, a
boom.
little bit, but we're getting there, okay? Please share if you like this content. Make sure you like. We did open up a brand new page on Facebook, We the People. Make sure you go and like that, as well as Instagram, X, and TikTok. So we're everywhere now. And we got video shorts coming up as well for everybody, as well as new guests coming on the show. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Frank, thank you so much for being here again, man.
You too, Carlos.
And see you on episode 12, everybody. Much love.
Have a
Take
great
care.
week.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is We the People.